Hi guys, I hope everyone's doing good and having a good weekend so far. So in today's video, I want to chat to you guys about Zomedica, so ticker symbol ZOM. As we know, in March, there's been a big anticipation in the lead up to the announcement that Trueforma, the platform, was being commercialized. So a lot of people were expecting that the share price was going to take off and head to the moon, but the opposite has actually happened. There's been a sell-off of the share price. So in today's video, I want to address that with you guys. And I also want to discuss what I think of Zom as a company and the stock price now and where I see them heading in the future. But before I get into today's video, check this out. This video is brought to you by Weibo. If you'd like to get 2 free stocks valued at $1,850, check the link below. Welcome back to Investor Prime TV. David here. If you're new, this channel is a one-stop shop for anything investment. So investment ideas, investment discussions, stock picks, when to get in the market, when to get out. So make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe and of course hit that notification bell so you don't miss any further uploads. With that being said, let's get this bread. Zomedica have had the first sale of the Trueforma platform, which is huge news for a company. So this sale of the Trueforma platform was actually an early sale. So it was a sale made before they commercialized the Trueforma platform. This is great news for the company because people are eager to obtain their product. So I'm here thinking, why did the share price fall despite this great news? So in this video, I'm going to address that. Because for all we know, this could be the buy on rumor, sell on news scenario. So in this video, I'm going to address that as well so that you guys understand what's going on from my point of view as well and have a better or more informed judgment of what you're going to do with Zomedica in your portfolio. So looking at the chart of Zomedica, so ticker symbol ZOM, as we can see, the resistance at $1.50 was broken. So this was broken on the 5th of February and this resistance effectively became a support. So this support was tested when the share price fell on the 23rd of February, tested it and bounced back up. And also the support was tested again. But what's interesting is on the 5th of March when it was tested, looking at the price action, there was a hammer formed, which is a very bullish candlestick pattern, especially if the hammer is formed around the support. So this effectively drew the price upwards towards $2.52. But right now, and most recently, the share price has fallen to effectively test this support a third time. So this basically means that this support at $1.50 is seen to be a very strong support because every time the share price falls and reaches that $1.50, so there's a huge demand around that price, which basically brings the share price back up. So this shows that there's a lot of bullish pressure around that price. But right now the stock is actually trading sideways, so it's trading in a sideways pattern between the resistance at $2.64 and the support at $1.50. So whenever a share price is trading sideways, especially after a big run up, this usually means accumulation and distribution. So accumulation and distribution is effectively where big players in the market, so the hedge funds and the big players, they're not going to buy 1 or 2 shares. They're going to buy hundreds of thousands, if not millions of shares. So they're not going to do this straight away and then shoot up the price because they want to have a good profit margin. Okay, so what they're going to do is they're going to accumulate the position over time. So they're going to be buying big positions, selling some, buying. That way the share price effectively bounces from resistance to support, resistance to support. And that way, effectively, they don't move the share price much. Their average cost can effectively be consistent throughout. So they don't have an average cost $10 higher. It can be consistent. So that way, when they've accumulated the position, the stock can effectively fly. And it's a good technique to find out where the big boys are in the market. And part of this accumulation and distribution can be seen through the RSI. So right now, as we see, the market is pretty much been bearish for the most part. Okay, so it's risen up to $2.80. It fell back down to $1.50. And then the next time it rose, it didn't quite make the $2.80 mark. And then it fell again. So right now that's seen as pretty bearish. But if we have a look at the RSI, so the last time the RSI made a low, or the first time the RSI made a low after the big run up, the RSI value was 54. The next time it made roughly the same low, it was 49, which indicates that there's more bearish pressure, i.e. the bearish momentum is greater. And also on the 24th of March, the next time it made the low, the third time it made this low, the RSI was at 39. This shows that every time it makes a new low or roughly the same low, i.e. getting towards the support, that the momentum is building up. If we have a look at the most recent trading session on the 26th of March, so as we can see, the RSI effectively went from 39 to 44. So the share price is roughly around the same value, around the same low, but the RSI is actually making some positive divergence. So looking at positive divergence, this is a good way to tell when the bearish steam is running out. So the bearish momentum is running out. and possibly the bulls are stepping in. So another way we can see if the bears are losing momentum and the bulls are stepping in, or if the bears are effectively picking up momentum, etc., is if we look at the volume. So we have a look at the volume on the 24th of March. So the most recent low that it made, testing the support. The volume was 98 million shares being traded. And also the session before that on the 23rd of March, the volume was 100 million shares. So the volume was relatively consistent for those 2 trading days. However, if we look at Friday's session, the volume has effectively halved to 48 million shares being traded. So guys, this is a good indication that the bears are possibly losing steam. So there's a lot less volume being traded, and this could potentially mean that bears are stepping out. Okay, so that way, with the bears losing steam, the bulls can step in. So this is potentially an early indication that Zomedica's share price is going to start heading up north. So guys, looking at the chart of Zomedica's share price, there's not really much indication that time to get out. What I believe happened is most likely this whole buy on the rumor and sell on the news. So a lot of investors were anticipating that the commercialization of Trueforma was going to be great news. Okay, so they were anticipating that, look, the more people know about this news, and the more people get involved, okay, so there was going to be a huge demand because everyone's trying to rush in, trying to buy up this stock, etc., in anticipation for this news. When the news happens, that the share price is going to just head to the moon. All right, so everyone was getting in. So this is partially why you saw a huge run up in Zomedica's share price from effectively 40 cents all the way up to like $3. So what has effectively happened now is that people are just taking their profits, and this is effectively reducing the share price. And this is why you've been seeing a sell-off. So despite the sell-off of Zom's share price, one major positive is that there's been a lot of institutional transactions of Zomedica's stock. Okay, so there's effectively 82% positive institutional transaction, which basically means that institutions have been buying up Zomedica's stock in the last 3 months. So you're not going to see the effects of them buying up this stock in the short term. This is more of a long-term hold. So this is where you decide what you're going to do with your Zomedica stock. If you currently own shares in Zomedica, you need to decide whether you're holding it for the long term, you're holding it for the short term, maybe you just want it to get it as a momentum play, or if you're holding it for the midterm, maybe you're trying to hedge against something else. Whatever your strategy is, or whatever your reason for having Zomedica's stock, you need to decide what you're going to do with it going forward. But looking at the institutional transaction, you're not going to see the effects of that immediately, like I said. So this will tend to be a long-term play, and especially seeing as that they actually have a product to commercialize and they're selling. This is great news. This is long-term fundamental great news. So if you enjoyed the content that I put out, make sure you guys subscribe, and of course hit that notification bell so you don't miss any further uploads. And guys, if you'd like to support the channel, you can sign up to my Patreon. The link is in the bio below. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next video.